Hey, everyone. Sorry about that. Oh my God, I'm like running behind. Listen, guys, what is today? Thursday. Okay. I'll see y'all in the building. Thanks for stopping by so we can do this Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap. Let me tell you something. This, Beverly Hills is starting to become really, really dark, right? A lot is going on, and they're moving away from it just being fun for us to watch to it being kind of hard for us to watch, right? I don't know if anyone else is kind of feeling the same way. Let me see. I see all y'all in the building. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Sin. Hey, Toria. Listen, Canelo is behind. He may be able to stop by. He might not. I see you saying thank you guys. Paula, hey, Andrea, haven't seen you in a while. Kimberly, thanks for coming by. Juanita, I see you. Sonia, hey, Tony, hey, Candy, hey, Carol. Thank you guys for coming by. Hey, Fez, hey, Foxy, I see you. Hey, you okay over there? You're on mute.
Guys, no, I'm not. You see, I forgot I was on mute, and I'm sitting over here trying. Look, it is a mess over here.
It's a mess, but listen, hang out as long as you can. And Juanita, I know you're in the building. How
I
you
will.
doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Hello,
So,
Canelo. How are you?
Child, don't ask.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not bad. It's just, you know how everything be going good, and then at the end, at the end of the day, things just decide they want to just go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
go a little bit to the left, right?
Yeah.
So listen, guys, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is turned. You know what? This reunion, I can't wait to see this reunion because I think it's going to be a whole hot mess.
It
Okay,
is. It
Baby,
really
isn't it?
I
is.
can't wait. I
It
cannot
really
wait.
is because they got so much going on. Well, after the event at where were they at? After they had
Aspen.
the Lisa Rinna event, like
They
some of
were
them
at
went,
the
some of the
Disco
husbands and
Inferno.
the wives, they went out to dinner after that. They kind of partied after that, and hey Mel, you in the building?
Hello.
Hey,
Hello, Mel.
I
you,
survived. I
you
survived.
okay?
Hi,
That's good.
Mel.
That's good.
I
So
survived.
we're recapping the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I was just kind of saying that it's getting kind of dark on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's getting kind of hard to watch. Now we're used to Mean Girls, right? We've seen it before on some of the different reality shows, but I think the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is going to go down in history as the #1 show with the most mean girls like ever. Okay, on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they weird what's the name, Denise Richards down, right, until she left the show. They did the same to Lisa Vanderpump. They also did it to what's her name that was married to the guy. He ended up leaving her and marrying somebody much younger. There's countless ex-housewives from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that have been run off the show by these ladies. Like, it's
Mhm.
just so messy, right? But they opened up and they talked about how they partied at the Lisa Rinna event. And then we have this car ride with Dorit and Kyle, right? And they speak about Rinna's behavior. You know what's so funny to me? They'll speak about it in this little car ride, but the thing is, though, well, they address Lisa to her face, right? Yes, thank you, Red Sip Hustler. Yolanda. Yeah, it's like they ran so many people off of this show. It's just ridiculous at this point. So last night was hard to watch, and the preview for next week, ooh, just simply, last night was very hard to watch. The preview for next week is going to be a doozy. And also, though, they kind of pre-warned us, right? We knew the Aspen trip was going to be something to watch, but we didn't know it was going to go down like this. Hey, Best BK, thank you so much for the super sticker. Truly appreciate it. So yeah, you didn't know what to expect. We knew it was going to be something crazy. We just didn't know it was going to be like this. I agree. For me, I can only take so much. Now I remember why I took 2 seasons off. I'm trying to tell you, I like a little fun. I don't mind a little argument here and there, but when you're just straight bullying somebody and badgering them, it gets to be a bit much, right? And we're also used to like they have apologies for something, and then somebody is still circle back to what was already resolved. But this was just it's going too far now. It's going too far. So they're in the car and they speak about Rinna's behavior, and they also say that Sutton doesn't know how to articulate herself well. But sometimes, listen, we gotta accept whether we like the person or not. The truth is the truth, no matter who mouth it comes out of. And I will agree, Sutton has to learn how to articulate herself just a little bit better. I don't know if anybody wants to chime in about that
I
little
will.
thing so far. Go ahead, Mel.
I feel like I'm ready to talk. I've been ready to talk for about 24 hours already, but I've been ready. I'm ready. Listen, I had a good conversation this morning. I feel free and lifted. Let's put it that way.
Okay, there you go.
I'm not gagged tonight, honey. No.
Okay, there you go.
But you know what I was going to say for me? I would say this: if Dorit and Kyle were going to be the helpers of anybody feeling comfortable on the show, honey, leave me in trouble. Don't help me, because they are nobody's friend. I think that what they said in the call was condescending. This woman is a grown woman. I feel like, yes, anybody would be awkward if you're dealing with 5 or 10 people on you at the same time.
That's true.
If you want to have a conversation with her, do it one-on-one. Do it respectfully. Don't say Kyle and Erika and everybody doing, like they did tonight, whatever. So I think that, in most of the scenes, she's having to deal with more than 3 people.
That's true.
So she's going to be a little flushed or whatever, short of her going to hell off on all of them. She was somebody else, they'd be like, leave me alone. But she's trying to be the Southern Belle, and we were so busy concerned about Garcelle not really standing up. But we need Sutton to say, listen, you got to get these people a good old Southern cuss out, because they are constantly on you every time you show up. Listen, it's crazy. That was very condescending, but I thought it was sort of sneaky that they filmed a scene, which I caught. They filmed a scenes with that wonderful moment with Garcelle in the wig, and she read off Erika, and then they ran up with their husbands to have a drink until they both looked like a hot mess in that car the next moment. So,
didn't they though?
Yes,
didn't they though? But you know what, Mel, you bring up a very good point. And I gotta put that in now when I'm gonna think about that when I think of Sutton. You're right. Any one of us, if it's 10 against 1 or 5 against 1, of course we're gonna get a little flustered and not be able to maybe find our words and know the right thing to say. Especially because even when she starts to talk, Kyle is always cutting her off, telling her that she's not feeling what she's feeling, and distracting her so she can't even get the words out. Yes, you are correct. Juanita, what do you want to add to that?
Girl, I just wanted to jump through the TV and just slap the fire out of those two, Diana and Erika, because it was just sickening. And I was upset because no one stood up for Sutton. Not Diana, but Garcelle did a little bit, but I just feel like she could have intervened a little more. It was
we gonna get to that scene. We're gonna get to that scene.
But overall, the show was ridiculous. I mean, it was the worst show that I've watched, and I've watched all the Housewives shows and followed them. But this one was just ridiculous. And they talk about really love and hip hop. That was love and hip hop. What they do.
I'm trying to tell you, right?
But the gag for me. Go ahead. For me, and I'm not mentioning no names, trust me, I learned my lesson. The gag for me was, here we got people out on the YouTube streets talking about they feeling sensitive, they doing one of them clutching their pearls, but the language, and yet they up on that show called Another Woman to See You Next Tuesday.
Exactly.
We're gonna get there, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So Toria, thank you so much for the super sticker. Kyle is nobody's friend. Sick of her throwing something under the bus, period. Oh, she always is, and we're gonna get to that. So messy. Misbehaving is fun. I'm an Aries also. I'm sorry, Diva, but I know how to back fools up off me. Maybe that's the Aries in me. Yes, but you know what though? Sometimes you do. Just imagine that every time you with these ladies, they're always on your back. It's like okay, can somebody cut me some slack? Can somebody understand? You cannot like somebody, but still you can say, you know what, in this instance, that person was right? But these ladies won't do that for Sutton at all. Everything that comes out of Sutton's mouth,
They're
like
jumping on her.
they're jumping on her.
But you know what?
They're jumping on her,
They won't
and
do
it's
it.
ridiculous, right?
They won't do it publicly, but they will do it every time privately, like they did in their car. So what they were talking about was Lisa Rinna's reaction to Sutton, and how they said, oh, Lisa Rinna was having these sort of extreme reactions after her mom passing, and how Sutton was incapable of really coming back to the lady, stuff like that. But they won't say that when they're in a group. They won't say, oh, Lisa Rinna, you're having a extreme reaction. And Sutton, I see that you're
right.
And so they keep doing that behind the scenes, whether it be with Garcelle or whoever. But when they get together, they quiet. We ain't that level yet, like we said at the end of the episode. But, it's crazy.
It is messy. So Garcelle, Diana actually comes to Garcelle's house, which was shocking, right? She's joking about how she got a jumpsuit on backwards. She's talking about how she doesn't like Sutton, right? So my thing is that if you don't want to be this girlfriend, then don't accept her apology and tell her that, you know what, we could try to figure this thing out. Or, just tell her like Garcelle did to Erika. We don't never have to be friends. She told it to her face. So that's what Diana just needs to say to Sutton. I don't want to be your friend. So then that way Sutton can move on. She doesn't have to deal with your constant bashing of her. And, she can live her life and you can live yours and y'all can be in the same circle. But don't try to tell the girl that you're going to try to come to a meeting of the minds with her. But then every time she does something, you turn around, you're going to blame it on the fact of what happened that one particular time. But Diana is telling, Garcelle this, how she doesn't like Sutton. And she also told Garcelle that she's going to be staying at the hotel when they go to Aspen. And that part I really didn't find a problem with, right? And this was crazy, though. She says she sends the Ghostbusters ahead of her because she needs her energy cleansers. Well, my thing is, and who's going to cleanse your energy?
Exactly.
Who's going to cleanse your bad energy? Who's going to clear the ghosts that are haunting you, that are inside of you? Like, what is going on? Do you understand what I mean? Like, she needs help. Thank you, Tori. I appreciate it.
She needs to be saved.
Yes. I don't know.
Anointed, a little holy oil splashed on her.
Well,
holy water, whatever you can find.
Miss Diva, I'm gonna leave it to you ladies to talk about Diana tonight.
Okay, no problem.
I'm gonna refuse myself because the jokes are running through my mind, and sometimes people clutch their pearls and get too sensitive about just regular old calls. So I'm gonna refuse.
But Mel, what I don't understand is how in the world did she single you out of everybody in the chat? I don't understand that.
You know what?
We're gonna move on from that, guys. Let's just move on from that. But Mel, I got you. Just bring me back every time you need to bring me back.
Okay.
Canelo, what do you think? What did you think about Garcelle and Diana's chat and her having to send the Ghostbusters to cleanse the energy? But meantime, she needs to get her energy cleansed.
You mean she wanted them to come clean her energy? I was saying those people that stayed in that room before her may have had good energy, so she's dispelling the good energy to put her negative and demonic energy in that room, so she can just spread her evil. You know what? I'm so sick of her. She just needs to jump in the lake of fire. That's all I'm saying. I'm sick of her.
All right. So yeah, I mean, she, she's different, and we're gonna leave it at that. So let's move on to this thing with Lisa and her husband Harry, right? Lisa and her husband Harry. They're going through the mom things, and let me say this. I do know that not personally, but I'm just saying, of course, that's a difficult thing, right? Losing your mom, no matter what time it is in your life, losing your mom is losing your mom, and grieving is hard. And maybe I just never experienced it. I don't know too many people that grieve and they just turn to be so nasty. To me, that had to be part of your personality to begin with, right? And so, you want to blame it on the grief in your mom. Okay, we'll accept the words that are coming out your mouth, I guess. But I just don't see how you're connecting the two, that you're honoring your mother's memory by being nasty, but yet you say it's grieving, but you're only being nasty to one individual. You're
I don't
not
understand.
being.
I don't
Go ahead.
understand that either, Diva. I
Right.
lost my mother in 2008, and I just can't remember being nasty like that to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I I I just don't see it. I don't know where I just you just don't. And then to cry and there's no tears anywhere.
Oh, child.
You
You
know,
said it, Miss Juanita. You said it.
she's an actress.
She
She
ain't
is
even
an
that.
actress. You can
She
give her
ain't
that.
even that. Child, actresses and actors know how to cry with tears. She just crying out dust.
But you know what? I
Yeah.
think
Well,
maybe,
she just realized that she had made a fool out of herself,
yeah.
and
You know what?
everybody was looking at her.
You know what? I don't know if it's Lisa Rinna, but I'll just say that maybe when people get too many medical treatments, they can't cry anymore. So that could be. But you know what?
Well,
But,
you
but,
hit it.
but I'm gonna say this. I
You
will
hit
say
it.
allegedly,
Yes.
honey. But you know what I was gonna say too. With her mom, the serious part, I didn't remember, and that was very devastating. When she said that her mother was, that she had an interaction with somebody who was a psychopath, a total psychopath. I said, oh my gosh! And there was a book there that I was going to research on online because I wanted to know more about that story. I didn't know her mother had that issue, as a young woman. That was quite shocking.
Very
Hmm.
shocking. And I think she spoke about it a little bit before. The man ended up being, I want to say, a serial killer.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
he ended up
like,
being, and yeah, and so when he got out, yeah, it was crazy. So you're right, it is an interesting story. David, my condolences. Lisa's making excuses. I lost my husband this May. I may have moments of anger, but I'm not nasty to anyone. Yeah, and of
Mm-hmm.
course, right, you're going through the grieving process. Yeah, so I can get, yeah, you do. You're like, why us? Why me? Why did it have to happen to, whatever family
Mm-hmm.
member it perhaps happened to? But yes, to just be down outright nasty to people, I've rarely ever seen that emotion. And I could get it if she was being nasty to everyone. I might
But it's
accept
from
it,
one
but
person.
it's always towards Sutton and Sutton
Mm-hmm.
only. So I think she's full of it.
Hmm.
Yes, he was.
Yep.
Yeah, he turned out to be. Yes, he sure
wow.
did, which was crazy. So you
Diva.
think that might be an interesting story. Lisa, Ruth said Lisa is just a nasty person. Yeah, I think that's the case. I also
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
lost my mom in 2016, but I didn't have to be nasty. All I did was overthink and was broken. Yes, Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
Again to you too. My condolences. Yeah, when you go, the grieving process is brutal.
Right.
And I really think I'm leaning towards the thing that no one ever actually kind of gets over it. You just
Mm-mm.
learn how to
What
deal with
to
it
do?
Deal
better
with
as
You
time
know,
goes
exactly.
along.
that's true.
Exactly.
I would say this too. I'll give a little grace tonight. I think I'm feeling generous. I'm going
Uh-huh.
to say this for Lisa Rinna. I actually feel this. I feel that she's a very, and again, allegedly, I don't know her at all, but I actually feel that she's a very insecure woman. I think that she said this a couple of times before that she was bullied or that she had some issues as she was growing up. So when she had an interaction with Kim, that's why she went so nuclear because she felt like Kim was sort of not letting her do what she needed to do. So I think that for her, she has a struggle with power. If something happens in her life where she feels, that she doesn't have the power and her mom dies or somebody doesn't listen to her or whatever, she reacts. Her go-to reaction is anger every single time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Every
Yeah.
it does, so that's why it looks the same when she's grieving. I'm sure she's grieving. It looks the same when she's grieving as when she feels insecure when she first came on the show with Kim. Every time she feels nervous or scared or sad, she turns angry.
right.
Well, if
What?
anybody should have been angry and I would have more so understood her mother acting that way
Oh,
versus
absolutely.
her.
Yeah.
After I
Wow.
mean that it just don't make sense. It really doesn't.
About I want to jump in just a
Yeah,
second to
sure.
Mel. Mel is not alleged because she came out and told us what work she had done besides the lips. So she confirmed it herself. So it's not alleged. She has work done. So I'm just letting you know you'll have to say alleged to that because she confirmed
And you know what? After
herself.
after yesterday, I'm saying legend to you my name
I
sometimes.
know.
I know.
Listen, I'm
I
telling
know.
you.
I'm just saying. I would
You
just
know what?
say
You know what?
as long
let
I,
as she
let
you know
Mel
what?
confirmed
say
it.
what he's comfortable with saying. We
I
good.
know.
We good.
I'm good. I'm just letting him know so
I
he wouldn't have to.
thank you,
But
Mr.
I
You
understand.
know
I
what's so
do
funny?
understand.
You know what's so funny? Yesterday, I was surprised, but today I feel good. I feel wonderful.
That's good.
And we glad, and Mel, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad
That's
you
good.
feel good. Yes. Okay. So Tracy said, I lost both my parents and grandparents and ex-husband. Wow. Each death makes you self-reflect. I'm always more humble, nicer, and compassionate than usual. Tracy, that's what I'm used to seeing. That's what I'm used to seeing. You know, I worked in a hospital for many years, a long time, and people who know they're dying, like, you know, at some point, for the most part, I've always seen that when it came to that moment, most of those people already themselves came to the realization that it was their time.
Right.
A lot of sick people are the most sweetest, humblest people ever. And yes, the people, the loved ones they leave behind are always also too so incredibly compassionate and nice. Now, that's not to say that, you know, you don't have people that have anger. I have had some people that definitely had anger, but it was never towards an actual person. It was anger about the situation. And that's why I think she's full of it. And I really think she's full of it because, like I said, she's targeting it at one individual. It's not, everybody's not taking the hit.
Because I want to say this, even because, you know, I just lost my neighbor last month in July. And I went over and I met his mother one time. This is when I first moved in. But when I went back over, she hugged me and told me she was so happy that, you know, I was there as a friend for him. She could have been nasty. She could have been, you know, just, you know, all out of her mind, just telling me, don't come in here, don't want to see you, because she just lost her child. And I get what everybody's saying. Those people that goes through grief, yes. When my mom lost her husband, it was, you know, when we lost my stepfather, it was the same way. She was nice. She was angry, but she didn't take it out on just one person. She took it out on everybody. But then she come back and she apologized and said, I'm sorry, it's not my, you know, this is not what I was trying to do. It was just because I miss my husband. I mean, but that's not what Lisa's saying. Lisa is lashing out at Sutton and then want to say, oh, I'm just mad at everybody. Well, who is everybody? I'm just saying. I just gave y'all two examples. But who is everybody? I mean, Sutton can't be like 5 or 6 people.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Hers is definitely targeted. Afrocentric. I'm so glad you got the book. You're welcome, and I hope you enjoy it. And thank you. Yeah, Pit Dog, you said you lost your mom. Yeah, it's my condolences. Yeah, it's definitely a process. Is something you got to go through. And like I said, I think over time you just deal with it, but you kind of never get over it. You really don't, right? So now we have Kyle and Mauricio. They have a scene. They talk about going to Aspen. They talk about, you know, going to the house here. But one second, allegedly shady, right, Diva? I lost both my parents not too long ago, and I'm in my 30s. Wow, my anger is not directed at one person. It's a different type of anger that only those who've been through it will understand. I got you, and my condolences. I get it. Yeah, and you're young, like you lost them in the 30s, in your 30s, and you know that's why too. I'm very grateful. One, I'm 52, and two, both my parents are still living. So my mom is I'm gonna say late 70s, and my dad is like mid 80s. So very fortunate, and I don't take it for granted.
Yeah, enjoy them.
Yes. Jasmine said people like Lisa is weak. She cannot come after someone who is going to hand it to her. Yeah, you see how she's stables over her comeback with Garcelle. Garcelle is lightweight. Yeah, Garcelle is lightweight. Like when Lisa Rinna, one of her matches, so to speak, was Kim. Because Kim was ready, and whether she was in her drunken state or whatever you want to call it, Kim was ready to give her the business.
But Kim was sober that time she was sober when she threw that glass on the table. She was ready to go. Right. She didn't have no liquid courage. She was like, we ain't doing this. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Lisa, listen, Lisa, my condolences. I lost both of my parents in my 30s, and now I'm 56. Yeah, it's not easy, I'm sure. Not easy. And that's why, yeah, I know that I have a blessing and I'm very fortunate and I don't take it for granted. My mother lives about 15 minutes away from me, but my dad lives in the city. But yeah, it's a lot. So Kyle and Mauricio, they had a scene. They're talking about going to Aspen. They're talking about their house in Aspen. They getting a private plane. I ain't mad at them. Mauricio is going on the trip with her. They purchased their home in what was it, 2019. It's four bedrooms, 4.5 baths. So everybody can't stay in the one house, right? And then she's talking to Mauricio about how Garcelle and Sutton unfollowed Erika. We got to talk because why is this unfollowing this social media such a big deal? But Andrea, thank you so much for the super chat. I honestly didn't enjoy this show like I used to. Don't enjoy the show like I used to. I don't either, right? It was supposed to be light and entertaining. You are so correct. What happened? Yes, what happened to that, right? By the way, love how much your channel has grown. Well deserved. Oh, Andrea, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But you are right, right? They were supposed to be showing us, I'm going to date myself here. There used to be this show called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, right?
Yes, I remember.
It was a very, very popular show. And people enjoyed it because it was like, okay, I'm not living that life, but it's nice to see these mansions with all these 13 bedrooms and these marble floors and all of these cars and, a movie theater room and all of that type of stuff. So the Housewives was supposed to be an expanded extension of that, right? It was supposed to be this expanded extension of not only are we going to get to see their homes, but we're going to get to see how they live, what they do, so forth and so on. And it has gotten so shady, so dark, so messy, is moving us away. And listen, because it's supposed to be reality, we don't mind a disagreement or two, but we do mind like when it's just going totally to the left, like it did on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills last night. It was team too much with Sutton, and Diana wouldn't let up, but we'll get there, right? We'll get there. Fruitcake Gate was funny as hell.
Hold on, wait. What was Fruitcake Gate?
I don't know.
That might have been on Dubai.
Yeah. See, Sin. Thank you, Sin City. Yes, with Robin Leach. Yes, you know what show I'm talking about. Yes, but you know how it was just about. It was just trying to show us like there's people out there that live this exuberant lifestyle, so to speak. And now we get this, and it's like they're doing too much. But I will say this about Kyle. She knows how to throw an event, right? She knows how to throw an event. She has her nice home, but the guest house, she's not going to make them feel kind of slighted because at the guest house, she has them a chef. It's a nice house, and she said they're going to be okay. But
they had an elevator there, Diva.
Yeah, I saw that elevator. It was a nice house. Now, but telling her husband that Garcelle and Sutton unfollowed Erika, like Sutton said, why is this such a big deal? Why are we so into this social media thing? And even I gotta say this, and I love Sutton, and I really don't have no problem with Garcelle, but you know what? It's so petty as adults that we're gonna sit there and follow and unfollow somebody. I would just start ignoring their posts. It's not that serious. But I'm not going to sit there and go back through my social media and start unfollowing people. But that's just me. Wait. You know what, MH? I'm going to get there. I thought that was super shady. There's no way my sister's staying in the house with me and she's going to get the worst room. But Kyle tried to play it up like she was giving her real good room, like that was the softest bed in the house. Kyle, you a hot mess. But before we get there, what do you think about this whole unfollowing thing? And Kyle telling Mauricio that.
Let me say this. This unfollowing thing is so childish. First of all, if I don't want to follow you, we should be able to still coexist. We should be still able to talk. But sometimes people unfollow people because they don't want to see those type of posts on their timeline. And you can't be upset with that. I mean, it's not that we are falling out, but like Garcelle said, we're too This is too petty. And we'll get there. We'll get there. Because she gave a great explanation. But why is it's so bad that everybody associate that with, oh, if they're unfollowing people, they're no longer friends. That's not true.
It's just a mess. You know what, Chris? I gotta be honest with you because I don't know how to work social media that well. Garcelle said later on, or she said on something that she didn't know. I think it was an after show for Bravo. She said she didn't know how to mute people at the time. I didn't know there was such a thing myself. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know you could mute people. I had no clue. So she said, had she known, she would have just muted her. Yeah, I didn't know you can do that, guys. I didn't know there was a mute they needed. So I am in Garcelle's boat on that note. But again, too, I wouldn't be sitting there. I really don't go unfollow people. They probably block me and I would never even know. But I don't even have time for that because I barely know how to work the social media anyway. Yeah, it is too petty. An unfollow shouldn't matter. Yeah, an unfollow shouldn't matter. But you know what? These girls are petty though, right? They are petty. Petty. Juanita, I don't know if you have anything to say about, the Kyle and Mauricio's thing. They are a cute family. I'm going to give them that. They are a cute family. And listen, Kyle love her dogs. Oh, we might have lost Juanita. Okay. So PK and Dorit, we have a scene with them. And Dorit is pretty much, saying she's healing from the robbery still. Right? She talks about Aspen. She told PK, listen, if I scream for a lifeline, you need to come get me out of Aspen. But he said, I can't because I'm going to be in London. Okay. And she also tells him the breakdown of how they're going to be in this house. Right. So Erika, Lisa, Rinna, and Kyle are going to be with Mauricio, are going to be in Kyle's house. Diana at the hotel, and Dorit, Sutton, which is an interesting mix, right? Garcelle and Cherie going to the guest house. So Dorit kind of tells, PK about that. And they have their little scene, and it is what it is with them, right? That little scene.
Yeah, it really don't matter to me.
I know. Kyle was doing all that because she was playing producer. Why was she screaming at them to create drama? Even Erika and Garcelle were making eye contact. They're tired of her. Yeah. Kyle is being she's like the bone collector. So she's a little bit of Sheba Sheree being a bone collector. She's being messy, and also too because she doesn't really have anything herself that she wants to talk about as a storyline. So she's just making sure that mess happens. So that she's participating for her check. So that's what she's doing. She's a whole hot mess.
And don't forget, don't forget, she's also keep stirring the pot to keep the cameras off of her life behind the scenes. Because if the producers already know what she's going through, they're trying to bring it to the show, but they keep blocking it with, trying to make sure you don't know what's going on. So she stays in everybody else's business, so you won't know what hers is. So
yeah, you know what? Weird. Right. Foxy, I hear you. You said Erika called Garcelle a liar, so why would she keep on following Erika?
See, that's the hypocrisy. Hypocrisy.
Okay.
Why can't no? I know, I'm so sorry, Diva, but this right here
you fine.
kills me. This kills me with her. You don't like nobody calling you a liar. You cussed out Eileen for just mentioning your son's name. Teddy said you forgot. She tried to remind you of what you said, but you chopped her head off, and then now you don't want nobody calling. And Sutton just calling you to the carpet to see what's going on with Tom, to see if they need to get representation. You shredded her, so everybody's calling you a liar. Oh my God, you want to chop their head off, but you can call everybody else a liar. How does that work? But I don't lie. And that's her statement. I don't lie. Don't ever say I lie. I'm not a liar.
Well, yeah.
The hypocrisy.
Yeah. Sebastian says she's an adult and has every right to follow and unfollow anyone she wants. Those fingers are hers.
Oh my God,
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Emily
He
said, I
was
really
on the
hate how she was
certified.
dressing Kathy down because of what she was wearing from the airport. She's embarrassed by her because she lives off the Hilton's name. I'm sick of her. You sick of Kyle? But Kyle was mad at Cynthia, but she whitewashed Cynthia's shady game, but was mad when Cynthia did it on the Ultimates girls trip. I didn't watch that. I didn't watch the
she did. She did. She was mad with
Cassandra said, I felt bad for Son all season. They've been coming for all season. They've been coming for her neck. Literally taking come on, Cassandra, tell the truth. Literally taking turns trying to stay relevant. That was it was F up. It was Cassandra. It really was. Like Sutton deserves a raise. Sutton gotta be sitting next to Andy at that reunion. They have been using her as a punching bag. Every scene has something to do with Sutton. Like it's enough is enough already, right?
But you know what? They're not gonna do that, I mean, I'm gonna call you Garcelle. They're not gonna put her next to Andy because you got you're gonna have Erika and then you're gonna have Kyle. Now Kyle's gonna have she got a permanent seat up there by Andy. She's got a permanent seat, so she's not gonna get moved down to the end. Somebody's gonna have to. It's either gonna be Sutton, Diana, or Erika that's gonna take the seat next to Andy on probably the left side because Kyle would never that seat right there is always hers.
Next week is the season finale. No.
They're recording.
Oh, you know what? Next week, RHOBH is the season finale.
Yes.
So next week recap for RHOBH, we have to do our seating org. We're going to call our seating org how we think it should be. Okay. Yes, everybody, listen. Don't forget, please hit that like button and subscribe if you are not a subscriber. We would love to have you over here. Become part of the great tribe. So Garcelle and Crystal speak. Now this was filming while Garcelle was still on the reel. And she had to talk about hot topics, so to speak, right? So she had to talk about what was going on at the time. And at that time period, they were talking about Erika and these diamond earrings, these 750K diamond earrings, okay? So Garcelle had to talk about it. I'm sure it's going to come out in the reunion because, like Garcelle said, the Aspen trip is actually, that they're going to have the Aspen trip before her show airs, where she talks about Erika and these earrings. I actually saw the show where they addressed it, and Garcelle was pretty clean with her wording when she talked about it on The Real that time. Sebastian, I'm asking you for the conversation.
Oh God, we got Shady Sebastian.
So let me see. Cause she is the wait. Somebody said cause she is the show. Go Sutton is the show, right? So Crystal is packing. She has her assistant. Garcelle is packing. She has her assistant. Sutton is packing and has her assistant. These people, they don't do anything without their assistants. So Crystal pretty much said to Garcelle, can you get out of talking about these earrings on the show? Because she knows that it's just going to be contention. Like it's going to be just problems if Erika talks about these earrings. But like Garcelle said, I can't get out of it. I have no choice. But they both felt like that. Please. Oh, please. Yes. Please be respectful for the callers in the chat. They both felt like that she should just give back the earrings. And I'm gonna be very, very honest with you. You said on the after show, Crystal was flip-flopping about the earrings. You know why? Probably, Angela, because Crystal gets scared. She's scared of her shadow. Crystal is scared of her shadow. She probably was flip-flopping.
You saw what she did. You saw what Erika did to her at the reunion, so she was trying to clean it up as quick as possible because they got to sit on the couch next Thursday. So it's coming.
It's crazy. So, but I personally think too, listen, we're never going to know the exact details of this money with Tom Girardi and Erika, right? We can do our speculation, we can guess, but I will say this. If my husband, our estranged husband, is being accused of the things that Tom is being accused of, every earring, every shoe, every table, every painting in the house. I would tell them, y'all can take it, y'all can auction it off, y'all can pay back these alleged victims. I'm good. I wouldn't care if I had to live in a studio apartment afterwards, but I'm not going to be associated with that stuff. And I don't want to, speaking of energy, I don't want that energy around me. Y'all can have it. Sebastian, you're in the building. What do you want to add to the conversation?
Oh.
Yes. Who was that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
It was MH. Can you hear me? I just wanted
Yes,
to
I can hear you, MH. Yes, you could go ahead and speak.
Okay, perfect. I was just going to say that I was listening to a podcast with one of the victims, and she was speaking about the earrings. Yeah, the victim. Yeah, she's a lawyer. She was on one of the Hulu documentary. She was on that, so she was giving an update on the case, and she was saying that the earrings now are in a vault. They've been taken off Erika, and that one of the reasons why they were taken is that Tom was using it as a way to bank their money. So he was taking the victim's money and putting it into assets that were that were not cash. And those earrings were one of them. And what they want is for those earrings to be sold and their cash to be returned to them. And that's the reason why it's not that he did it out of an act of love for Erika and he bought her those earrings and, that he loved her so much and he bought us like a romantic thing. No, it was a shrewd, like, scammer move that he was doing. And that's the reason why those earrings are so contentious with the victims. And they were saying that, they don't have a problem with Erika living her life, but she can't live her life based on
blood money, so to speak.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I think MH, you kind of broke up a little bit. Sebastian, you're in the building. What do you want to say?
Did we lose Sebastian too?
I don't know. It seems like we're losing some people, right? Mel, you're in the building. You want to say anything about these earrings?
Yeah, I think Erika should give them back.
The lady, she just MH just said they do have them. They took them from her. They're in a vault somewhere. So she can't cry about them no more because that's gonna be good.
That's good. So Charlene said Crystal also flip-flopped on the after show about how they treated Sutton, which is disgusting. She basically said Sutton deserved the treatment she got from Diana. Wow, Crystal. See, Crystal is messy. Crystal can't stand in her own feelings. That's why you know what? I like Crystal's fashion. I like Crystal's home. I actually like Crystal and her husband together because I think you can tell like he really loves Crystal. But guess what, Crystal? You with the ladies, you can't handle yourself. You don't know how to stand up. You flip-flop. So on that note, bye, Crystal. We don't need you because you got to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and be in your stuff and mean what you say in the moment and after the moment too. So
go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to say, so was that fake of her to walk over to Sutton after the brutal slaying that Diana did to her? So that was fake for her to walk over there. That was fake of her. She walked over there to try to console her, but now she want to backpedal on. I can't with Crystal. I can't.
Yeah, Crystal definitely she's very she's so contradictory to me. It's this that I feel like she needs to find her inner needy leaks, where she was on the couch talking about Mama Joyce being in the gutter, and she said, "I said what I said." We need Crystal to stand in her truth too, and have one side, because I think at one point you watch the shows and then you have a different opinion. You're in the show and you have a different opinion. She did the same thing last year. I think that I don't know why she sort of flip flops the way she does.
I don't either.
Yes, that's why. Bye, Crystal. Bye. We don't need you.
Can you
go
hear
ahead.
me?
Yes, Sebastian. Yes, I can.
Okay. Number one, as I've said, Kyle has a special place in hell for her. If she made Kathy do what she did.
Well, Sebastian, allegedly.
No.
Allegedly. Second of all, Dorit, I find it weird that she's gonna be housing with them. Like, it's just gonna be very weird. The Foxy Five are not together. They're split up. It's just weird.
Mhm.
Um, Crystal, she does need to go. I'm tired of seeing Crystal. I really am. She gets me annoyed. She flip flops every second. She's constantly. She can't choose who she's with or who she's not with. One minute she's with Garcelle, another minute she's with Diana, another minute she's with Sutton, every minute she's with somebody else.
She doesn't know how to stand in her own. And 1 second, Sebastian. MH, we heard most of your conversation. We did hear you. We heard most of it, and then towards the end, you kind of
Yeah.
faded out.
No.
But we did. So yeah, she's just all over the place. And I think what Crystal wants is to be able to stay under the radar. So whoever it seems like everybody is with at the moment, that's where Crystal leans. But if she sees that everybody's on this side, she kind of finds her way on that side. If she finds everybody's on the other side, she kind of finds her way on the other side. She doesn't know where she really wants to stand
You know
and
what?
how to kind of find her place. Go ahead.
Miss Steve, what I was gonna say too. You know what she get what happens with that? She gives me Noella from OC, where Noella was
Yeah.
kind of always all around. She's beautiful. Noella's beautiful too, drop dead gorgeous, and so is Crystal. But I think that on these shows, as redundant and crazy as it sounds, you all have to pick a team, which I don't do in my
Mhm.
own life. But on these shows, it works that way. So if you're kind of flip flopping, then your opinion doesn't really, it doesn't really hold any water. It doesn't hold any weight with the group. And also, I think she does like Diana, because I think that she and Diana are really friends. I think that a lot of scenes that they have together, she talks about how long they know each other. So I think that maybe her friendship with Sutton, which is new, she kind of goes around. I don't know. Maybe she thinks about the audience, and then she talks to Diana, and then she says, "Okay, I'm on your side." You never know.
Yeah. Miss True Kelly, Dorit wants out that group. I think she
I
does.
believe
I
so.
think she kind
Mhm.
of wants to try to distance herself. I think Dorit is here for some mess, but she's not here for it to go dark down, like down a dark, nasty road. I'm kind of getting that feeling too.
It's time
Everyone
for
was
her.
focused. Go ahead.
It's time for Dorit to become a friend of.
We'll
It's
get there.
time.
Oh
Everyone
my
was so
goodness.
concerned about the well-being, but now she's in the other house, laughable. Well, you know what? You know what, MH? Right? Even Dorit herself. Why wouldn't you stay with them in the house with Mauricio? But she claimed that somebody had to give up their spot because everybody couldn't fit in the house with Kyle. But I would have said, let me be in the house with Kyle and her dog. Even though her dogs, they're complete sweethearts. I don't think they're going to attack nobody that come in that house. Because if the stranger come in and give that dog some food, that dog gonna be fine and calm down and sit down. Okay. Storm was chilling. Anybody else before I move on to the next scene?
Well, I was just gonna say, I think the reason why the Reed went over there, because you got Erika and Lisa. Those two was not going nowhere with Garcelle and Sutton. So well, we already know Cherie was gonna be over there. So the picnic girl, Sutton and Dorit. So it would have been, it's odd, but Dorit is probably the better choice to be over there.
Yeah, you are correct. You are correct. No, Miss Gigi said, please, please don't bring Nasty Diana back. Her kind of nasty is not needed. Her kind of nasty is not needed, and I thought it was over the top. But we're gonna get there. But
We
before we
almost
get
there.
there, Garcelle and Cherie kind of have a little a FaceTime conversation where Garcelle told her, "Listen, I unfollowed Erika. I'm done with her. I don't like the fact that she called me a liar. I'm over her." And she said, this I thought went a little too far. She said if she was on fire, I wouldn't even throw water on her. And then that's when Cherie was like, well, you gotta at least spit on her. I thought that was a bit much. I
What?
understand her and Erika not getting along. But to say the thing is, when you already know that you got problems with somebody, don't keep throwing stones to make the situation worse, especially if you know you're done with them. Because the thing is, if you throw a stone, then you gotta expect for a stone to come back your way too. So
That's
Mhm.
true.
you cannot keep saying stuff and then get mad if the other person wants to retaliate and say something too. And a lot of stuff, now I give it to her. She has been saying some stuff in Erika's face now, but the greasy stuff she says behind her back. And that's why when we get to this conversation with Diana, the only thing I'm going to give to Diana is it was an in the face conversation, but we'll get there in a minute. But right now with this Garcelle and Cherie,
Diva, can I say
yes,
this?
yes.
It was not in the face. It was at Garcelle. It wasn't in the face. It
Well,
was
we'll
at
get there.
Garcelle.
We'll
No,
get
it was in
there.
the face. It was in the face.
We'll
It
get
was in
there.
her face. It was in
Yeah,
her
we'll
face.
get that you got it, but we'll get there. But right now it's this Garcelle and Cherie conversation, and both of them together. See, they'll get greasy together. Because remember before the other situation when Erika, said something to Jax, Garcelle and Cherie were together again. It was like we're gonna get that girl all the way together when we see her. So those two have a lot of heat when it's just them. But then when they get in the people's face, their heat is dialed down to like 10 degrees. But when they're not in the person's face, the heat is turned up to like 200 degrees. Go ahead, Camille, because I feel like you want to say something.
Well, I'm just gonna say it is true. Now, I've always say this. Yeah, we always pump our chest out when we're not in the person's face. But when we do get in their faces, yeah, it may be watered down, but you do get your point across. And it may not be the way we said it that when we were not in their faces, but at least we do get it across, and maybe they understand, because sometimes it doesn't need to go there. Maybe they're puffing their chest out because they're like, maybe I need this little boost before I get in front of them, and then it gives me a little bit more courage to say something, which it does, but it doesn't, become this big explosion that, a nuclear bomb going off. And which I can respect. I can respect that. If you do that, you puff your chest out, then we're going to get this each together and all this stuff. Okay, but when you get in front of them, you're able to say it, but it's not like it was on the phone. Because sometimes the situation don't call for it. I mean, I may be in the minority, but that's the way I'm thinking about it. I don't need to go ahead and drag. Look,
no, I'm not gonna drag you. I'm not gonna drag you. A second, Camille. Hello, Gabor. Gabor's in the building, everybody.
Hey, Diva.
Hi, Gabor.
What's good? Hey, Diva. What's good, Camilo?
I'm so glad to be on lunch with Gabor.
You are?
Yeah, this is my first time being on with you.
Diva, wasn't it sweet last night?
Oh, last night was crazy. Last night was crazy. So wait, I gotta ask you this, Gabor. What do you think about Garcelle and Cherie's FaceTime? And Garcelle saying, "Listen, she ain't got water for Erika. She on fire. She wouldn't even spit on her."
She crying all night. She just, I don't know what to say about her. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that she putting 20 on 10. I feel like she putting 20 on 10. You actually were going around talking about this girl, and when people didn't agree with what you were saying, you were still trying to push the issue. Yes, you did talk to her about it, but you were trying to push the issue when people weren't agreeing with you, and you were lying.
You
were lying.
Yes, she lied. What she was lying about?
Oh, wow.
What was she lying about? I want to know.
She lied. She lied. She lied. She was trying to create it. She was. Hey, Sheila. Can I talk?
Yes, you may speak.
She was trying to create a narrative. It's not that she just put the accusation out there and said that she thought she had a problem. It's like when people didn't agree with her, she was trying to push it out there and saying, well, don't you think this? Don't you think that? And when you did talk to Erika about it, but you didn't have the same energy that you did with everybody else, and you were called out about it.
Of course she's going to say that. The last thing you did was tell her son to F off. Of course she's going to say that.
But even before she said that, when she had the drinks in Mexico and got drunk, she was still FaceTiming Sutton and telling Sutton, did you see Erika? Did you see Erika? That was before she cursed at the son.
Well, I was just going to still say, even when she confronted Erika, even though she was puffing out her chest, I was just saying, even though she was puffing out her chest, maybe she did that to get the courage to actually talk to her when you get in front of them, you still don't have to turn up to like 500 degrees. You could probably put it on 20. You know, the way they were talking, it was getting across. Maybe, you know, maybe Erika was agitated with her, but it was still, you know, she was still getting across. I mean, it doesn't have to escalate to that until it goes left. That's how I feel, but I know I may be in the minority, but it doesn't have to go left unless that person takes it there. I'm just saying.
Thank you, Fifi. Thank you.
Oh, Gene, stop it. I love it. I love it, Gene. But no, that's how I feel. She lied. She didn't keep the same energy, and she was doing the most. She's trying to. She's doing the most.
So what we got to do is, guys, we the thing is, right? We can love a person, and if we're a true friend, right? We got to call it what it is when it is what it is, right?
Exactly.
And what it is, but hold on, Sebastian. What it is if we go back and gather all the clips from every episode, Garcelle was doing a whole campaign. About Erika in this drinking and the pills and the mixing. She had some luncheon. Hold on 1 second. She had some luncheon with a couple of the people, right? She had a luncheon with a couple of people and say, what do y'all think? She had a luncheon with, it was Pal, I think Cherie was there, and it was Garcelle, okay? Then she spoke to some other people about this. So the thing is, we can love Garcelle, but we got to call it what it is. She was doing a campaign. She was doing an intervention without the person being there.
Okay, can I say something?
Go ahead. Yes, you can.
Can she finish saying what she had to say? Can she finish putting out the...
Can I speak? Can I speak?
Oh, my God.
Can I speak, please?
Yes, you can.
As Dr. Simone said, this is America.
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Okay. First of all, didn't Erika say it herself? If she has a problem, she would talk to people who's close to her. So Garcelle spoke to the people who are closest to Erika, the Foxy Five. She spoke to them. They're the ones who are closer to Erika. They are the ones who can actually tell Erika that I think you really do have a problem and you need help. And that's what matters. She told the people that are closest to Erika. Because at the end of the day, Garcelle and Erika are not friends. Garcelle and Erika are colleagues on this show.
But she cares so much, though, right?
Hold on, Sebastian. Now you're saying that Garcelle and Erika are not friends, but do you forget when Garcelle was on bended knee? This is she's not her friend. She was on bended knee, begging Erika to be her friend. Now listen, I ain't got no problem with Garcelle, but we just gotta tell the truth, right?
Well,
she was on bended knee. Was she not on bended knee? Was she not on bended knee?
At the end of the road.
Let me explain this.
Oh, good boy.
Come on, good boy. Get it, good
boy. You're so nasty.
Let me explain this.
Yes, go ahead, Sebastian. Sebastian.
First of all, Garcelle is from a different culture than most of us.
Oh, now we gonna blame the culture.
Yes, we're bringing culture into the situation. Yes, we are bringing culture into the situation. It's very common in other countries when you're asking for forgiveness in certain things to get on your knees. We're not going to drag Garcelle because she got on her knees and asked for a friendship. We're not going to drag her. We're not going to drag her.
We're not dragging. See, that's the thing, Shabbat. No, MA, stick with me now. Stick with me now, MA. No, Sebastian. The thing is, though, here's the thing. Why is it that we can bring facts about everybody else, but then certain people, we don't want to touch the facts? All I'm saying is that Garcelle just recently mentioned that she doesn't want to be friends or has to be friends with Erika. But if we keep it truthful, that's not how she felt at the beginning. She wanted to be her friend. She wanted Erika to love her. She wanted everybody in the group to love her, right?
Well, she's seen her true colors. She's seen Erika's true colors.
She didn't see them in the first season when they was all being accused and Sutton was taking the hit about asking the important questions that everybody else wanted to know. Now, Sebastian, don't do that. But hold on, Sebastian. Hold on, because
We're
No,
not
no, we not
correcting
tracking. We
her.
just
No,
talking.
no,
We
no,
just
no,
we
no.
just throwing out some facts.
I'll be
That's
right
all.
back, Diva. I'll
We
be
just
right
throwing out
back.
some facts. Okay, so Obi, you're in the building. What would you like to say?
Okay, so just my thoughts regarding this particular incident. What I personally think, Sebastian had already said it. I don't think Garcelle and Erika are really friends this season. Last season, they were probably friends up until when Garcelle called Erika out, and then they fell out, and she cried, and then the whole thing went down, and she knelt down, and she begged, and all that stuff. So I felt like this season they were kind of just playing it safe, but they were not really friends. In terms of Garcelle going to the other ladies, I felt like there was still some intention to make Erika look bad. Like you can't deny that. You can't deny that there was not like a little bit of an intention to kind of call Erika out on her behavior. Not saying that it's a bad thing because you can still look at it. If you look at it from any angle, it's still a good thing. If I was in Erika's shoes, I should want to be concerned about myself. Even if somebody wants to label me an alcoholic, I will still be concerned about that label. But still, I mean, you're portraying the behavior of an alcoholic, or that's what you're trying to portray, right? It's still whatever it is. So I don't think Garcelle should be villainized for actually calling Erika out. The only thing is, if I was in Garcelle's shoes, I wouldn't have gone about it that way if I'm speaking to Erika directly. So that's why I felt like Garcelle went wrong, because she talked to Erika about it, and Erika told her the problem. But she still talked to other ladies, and she was still trying to bring it up, like trying to push that narrative. So it's hard for you to really say, was she coming at it from a personal thing of like she was feeling concerned for Erika, or she was just trying to call Erika out about it? So that's kind of how
I was going to say this. For me, I didn't like when Lisa Rinna did it to Kim, but I don't mind it when Garcelle do it to Erika because I don't like Erika. So I think for me, that's just as a viewer. I don't find Erika, and I would say allegedly again, because I'm gonna keep on using that word tonight. But I'm gonna say with Erika, I feel like you get me go. I'm gonna say for me, Erika, she is not she's not a likable character on TV for me. And we're going to see more of that next week. So if Garcelle's being messaged, this is what I think me and you, Gus, and Gabor, we all had this conversation before. I was just thinking, I don't mind. At the end of the day, I don't mind Garcelle being messaged. Is what I'm saying. I really don't.
I don't mind right now.
I don't.
That's why I said rightfully so, because really, if you look at it, anybody who labels Erika an alcoholic now is not in the wrong, because she portrayed the behavior of an alcoholic. Period.
And even if she went around her back, and again, the way Lisa Rinna did to Kim, she's doing the same thing to Erika. I don't mind it because I just don't mind it. I have no issues with it at all. I feel like it's a non-argument. And actually, I think when Erika said, "Well, you're going behind my back saying this," I think she owned it, and she did do it, and I was okay with it as a viewer.
You thought Garcelle owned it?
Garcelle did say she did. Garcelle did say, yes, I spoke to the people who were close to you.
So wait, hold on one second. Hold on 1 second, Sebastian. So Tracy, thank you so much for the super sticker. Garcelle was team Erika when she had money.
No, she was not.
Because she needed to borrow. Yes, she was. She was all on Watch What Happens Live saying that Erika was the most welcoming, that Erika was all of this and all of that.
Listen, I'm going to say this.
As we see
Erika on the show, she's very mean. Erika's very mean on the show.
Yes, she
is. Fans have always said that her, Teresa, and some other housewives are the nicest when you see them on the street. That's what fans have always said. She could be very nice and welcoming when Garcelle first came on the show.
She was. I saw that.
She probably was. Another thing is, first of all, everyone started hating the Foxy Five right when the whole LVP situation went down. That's when everyone started hating the Foxy Five. So, of course, everyone's going to wait and see. Now Garcelle's here. She's carrying on LVP's legacy. She's going to bring it.
Hold on, Sebastian. Hold on.
More classy, though.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Daniel, you're in the building. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Gabor's like, uh-oh.
That wasn't me. That was Canelo.
That was me.
No, listen. I mean, I have to say, like, with Erika, she's really messy this season. And, Garcelle has been trying to, I guess, stir the pot a little bit, but it's not as, dark as what's happening now, especially with the lawsuits and everything. It's just been taken down like a really, really dark path.
Ever since Garcelle got on the show, yeah, it has.
Don't you do that? Don't you do that?
Are we speaking facts?
We speaking
facts. That's just the truth. That's just the truth of the matter, Mama. That's just the truth. Those are just the truth. That's just the truth. That's just the truth of it.
With that.
No, it got to go. It went down when those thugs got on the show.
Come on now.
When they started being thugs.
Right, and they say Atlanta was the worst. They say Atlanta was the worst, but now you got this. Like you got
this is a lot, right? This is a lot. So wait, Tracy, thank you for the super sister. Erika is a Cancer. I still like her. We the best.
I'm a Cancer too. I'm a Cancer too, and we real cool until you cross us, and that's what Garcelle did. See, what happened was Garcelle was a. Can I talk? Can I talk, Sebastian?
No, that's
Sebastian. Can I talk? Oh, that's Mel. Oh, well, see, Garcelle, see, Diva, see, what people like to do, they like to rewrite history, right? Garcelle and Erika was good. They was real good friends, but when it stopped, when Garcelle went back in their house and told everybody everything that Erika had told her and Crystal. And she went in there and spread it to the girls, and Erika got upset, and she did it on purpose. See, she done showed her true color. She done showed her true colors, and even with the whole alcohol thing and stuff that she said, if Erika, you were going around talking to the other women about Erika, and if you really felt and you had no malicious intent to her, you could have pulled her to the side one-on-one and said, Erika, I didn't mean no malicious intent by that. I do, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, but for you to just say. Yes, I do think she deserved that. Her reputation was taking a hit by Garcelle, all at the hands of Garcelle.
Wait, oh Lord, let's not talk about.
Oh my God!
It wasn't. Was Garcelle not going around? Was Garcelle? Wait, Canelo. Was Garcelle not going around trying to recruit people to be on her train and saying that the girl was alcoholic? She was going around recruiting.
Well,
no, she wasn't recruiting. She was trying to figure out what Erika was really going through. I mean, even if somebody was doing the same thing, if somebody was going to be drunk every time I saw, yes, I would go to the people that is closest to him and ask them the question. If they don't give me the answer, then I'll go to the source because.
But you don't care for it.
No, hold on, Canelo. If I got a problem, you're not going to come to me first. You're going to go to Gabor. You're going to go to Mel. No, hold on, Canelo. You're going to go to Gabor. You're going to go to Mel. You're going to say, Diva, she be drinking wine in that cup. I think we need to help her. Did you see her slurring her words? Hold on, Canelo. Then you're going to call Mel. Then you're going to send a message to Sebastian. Then you're going to ask everybody. And then if they don't satisfy you, you're going to come to me last? No, that's messy.
That is messy. That is messy.
If I ask you first, and then you shut me down, then I go to everybody trying to find out what's going on.
That's not how she did it, though.
But Diva, you know what, Diva and Gabor and everybody else, I respect you. This is what I think. I think that the Fox 5, 4, whatever the name they are, they play by their own rules. So I think that they treat each other, as we said in that scene, where they talk about, I think Lisa Rinna might be a little out of bounds. They keep that stuff inbound. They keep it very secret. They don't really expose each other that way. But when it comes to the other girls, whether it be Sutton and Garcelle, whoever, they will go on. They will expose them in the scene. I think Garcelle did the same thing, basically. So I just feel like both teams. I think that both teams play messy with the other team members. So if Garcelle had an issue with Sutton, with drinking or whatever it may be, I don't think she would have went that road. But I think because it's the other team, she's going to go that road. But the other team does it to them all the time. They always trying to get at them. So I think Garcelle, I enjoy Garcelle being messy. I think that all the girls, let me say this, Ms. Diva, I think that Crystal and Sutton should get on that boat and be messy just with Garcelle, with the other girls, but they are messy times 1,000. And I also want to say this. I think the show turned dark when Tom Girardi was exposed for being a criminal. That's when it turned dark. That's my opinion. I also think that Erika turned mean when she figured out she didn't marry very well. She married somebody who had all these problems. She lost everything. So that's when she turned bitter. That's why I said before, nobody in that show is responsible for her making a poor marriage decision, basically. She made she married a man that was going to take care of her. It didn't work out, and she became a very mean, nasty woman.
Or was she mean and nasty already, and she just happened to marry somebody who connected with the energy with her?
Well, and when the money was gone, it revealed her personality. Listen, when she first on the show, she was twirling, she was dancing, she was doing videos.
Who, Erika?
Erika. She was doing all her videos.
if you go back, Erika was nasty when she was with Tom, even with the money. Remember, she got very violent and nasty when she didn't wear panties to a situation, and then they saw up a lane. She told them they're gonna shut up and stop talking about the fact that I didn't have panties. Remember, she got pissed when, as a joke, Dorit brought panties to her as a gift to be funny.
Dorit, you thought that was a joke? You thought that was a joke?
That was real.
She wasn't
No,
wearing
I'm talking
panties
about
because she
you
was
thought
trying to
you thought the
entice
Reap was joking,
TK.
Diva?
She was
I
annoying.
thought she was trying to be funny. You thought she wasn't?
I don't
No.
think
She
she
was.
was trying to be
She was
funny.
being
Listen,
She was
funny.
not
wouldn't be
being
trying to be
funny. That was
funny.
real.
No. She
She
wasn't wearing
bought them
panties.
panties for her to put them on. So
No, she wasn't wearing panties so she could get another bag. That's what she was trying
When
to
does
do.
she ever
she
wear panties? Please, y'all.
Mm.
Y'all know that heifer don't wear no panties.
we
That's
know that. That's why.
that's why
Um,
that's why Dorit was being funny about it. But can I say something? This
Yes,
whole
Nina. Of course you
go ahead,
can. Go
Miss
ahead.
Nina.
woo
Okay, let's
child.
hear Nina. Hold on. Go ahead.
I've been at work all day, y'all. I ain't been able to get on to see none of y'all, but listen, this whole show was a dang on flop.
It
And
sure
I'm gonna
was.
tell it was a flop, and I am so sick of the way they treated Sutton. Okay, Sutton has
Me
diarrhea.
too.
Wait a
I'm
minute,
sick
let me say
too.
something. Sutton has diarrhea of the dang on mouth.
Yes,
Okay,
she
we
does.
all know that, but she tells the dang on truth. But
Yeah.
what they
Amen.
said about her yesterday was on that last night's episode was wrong in so many. And I'm gonna tell you who I blame. I don't even blame Erika. I don't blame that dirty Diana. I blame Cal. Cause Cal started all that mess. Cal is a shit starter. Can I say that word?
Ooh.
She started all that mess, and I blame her for it. But guess what? I hope Sutton whoop their tail. I hope she gets. Good boy, don't start. I hope she
Who said
get him.
nothing?
I hear him back there. I hope she get him, and I'm glad. And I'm gonna say this last thing, and I'm glad Garcelle didn't go as low as them heifers. I'm
Me
glad she
too.
did. But what Garcelle need to do is get Sheree told. That's what she need to do is get Sheree's tail told. Tell her to go on about her business. She ain't
Right.
no diamond. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
She's not. So wait, so Nina, so we're gonna jump to that scene and let me add some speaking points before we
Woo.
jump into the scene, okay? And these are speaking points, people. So don't get emotional with me. This is what happens on the show, okay? So here
Okay.
goes some of the speaking points, right? Here goes some of the speaking points. I don't like the messenger, which was Diana, right? But
Yeah.
there was some truth in the message.
All
So
facts.
what I'm going to say to you is that see, Diana is not the only one that circles back after apology was accepted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
you here, Sutton is going to go back. Sutton, the one is that went back to. None of y'all going to check this chick when she called me that word, right?
That's right.
So my
Right.
thing is, but Sutton had a moment when they had a trip earlier when she was all up in Erika's face to the point where everybody at the table was like, oh my God, y'all two are speaking like that? Y'all two
Ooh.
are acting
But
like
what
best
they got to
friends?
do?
But wait,
No,
hold on.
Diva.
Let me throw out the points and then I'm gonna come around
You ate
everybody.
that, Diva. You ate that. You ate that,
Good boy,
Diva.
you go back to your cage. You get back in that cage.
But I'm just saying though. So what we have to do here is we know that all of us have our people that we like. We have some people that we don't like. But whether you like the person or don't like them, you gotta pull to the carpet all the mess that they done, and we gotta judge it as a whole and do our and say our words, right? Because they all do the same thing. It's just to different degrees, right? So yes, I thought Diana was crude. She was
Yep.
messy. She was mean. She ripped her to shreds. But part of her message was you of all people should know what a miscarriage is like because you want to tell me you had two, but then you want to check me because I dragged myself out of the bed even though I had my miscarriage and so support and came to Garcelle's party. So let's be
And
clear.
was a total
Sutton,
complete
Well, didn't nobody
VIP.
tell
hold on
her
one
to
second.
drag her.
Hold on one
Hey,
second. Let
but
me
but
finish out the points. So Diana was right. You of all people should know because you suffered the same thing I suffered, but yet you was making fun of me. What you should have said to me was, I don't believe you had one. And then that would have been a different conversation. But you wanted to say it indirectly by telling me, oh, okay, you trying to tell me you suffered a miscarriage, but yet you here. So
Right.
the
wait a
message and
minute.
the words out of Diana's mouth was true. And Sutton doesn't know. Sutton does seem to hit people when they're low. Okay, she's diarrhea of the mouth. She's messy with her words, and I love Sutton.
I love everything about Sutton, but the truth is the truth. And so that's what she got. And then that's why Sutton lost her words. Because what could she say to that? She know that is what she did. So she sat there, right? She sat there. She was at a loss for words. And what she could have said was, you know what? I'm sorry. I did do that to you. I did say that to you at Garcelle's party, because that's what she told her. She told her that at the party. And I know that y'all can't stand Diana. I do not like Diana. But let's deal with the facts and the truth.
That
Y'all
was
trying to
Amen,
tell me
Diva.
that that's
no
not what's said.
fact.
But go ahead, Nina. You can go ahead.
Wait,
But
wait a
before you go,
minute.
Nina,
No,
before you go, 1 second. Before you go, Tracy, thank you for the super sticker. Dorit said you're going to wear panties around my man.
Now,
Wait a
that's
minute.
what
Wait.
I need to
Okay,
say.
go ahead, Nina. You want to talk? I threw out my speaking points. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. You threw your speaking points out there, and I could clearly see where you was going over the hill and around the rainbows.
Oh,
but
shoot.
I'm gonna say, yeah, you went over the hill because what it was. Okay, all that may be true. Okay, I'm gonna say that, but it was no need for them to call her that word, and then the laugh at it. And nobody come up and take up for her. Nah, you don't do her like that. And then you say forgiveness. Now Dirty Diana could have said something other than that. She didn't have to bring up that part.
She didn't say
the word.
nothing.
She
Wait a
didn't.
minute.
She laughed at it. She
Well, wait.
laughed at it so hard. She laughed at it so hard to everybody else started laughing except for Kathy Hilton and Garcelle. Everybody else was laughing.
And Lisa didn't laugh, and I couldn't believe that. Lisa didn't laugh.
But
wait,
take
Diva.
up for her. Okay,
Wait,
so
y'all
1 minute.
gotta let people go one at a time,
Okay,
y'all.
you be gonna let everybody go one at a cart. So you know what, Sebastian, what do you have to say?
No, Diva. This is Daniel.
Yeah,
I yield
Diva.
my time to
I think Wait,
give me a minute, Daniel, give me a minute because I did call Sebastian's name. So Sebastian, what do you have to say?
I yield my time to Nina.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Sebastian. That's what I'm talking about, Sebastian. Show your right, baby.
Wait a minute. I want to say something real quick. Diva, I think you went too far as to say that she dragged her butt out of bed to support Garcelle's party when she entered the party shading her party. Oh, what is this? Oh, this place could be bigger. It's not grand. It's not beautiful. Like she was shading, throwing shade when she first entered. Let's be real now. She went there for camera time. She didn't go there to support Garcelle. That's number one. Number two, she should have mind her own business because she wasn't at the reunion when the word was thrown. And she wanted a moment. Like we talked about earlier, she got her moment and then she started, oh, I had a miscarriage. Oh my God. And then she threw that word and they were all laughing like it was funny. This woman had been beat on camera. This woman had been called names on camera. Her blood is the same color just like anyone else in that room. And she sat there and she took it and she didn't say not a word. And that's how dark and dirty this show has gotten now at this point. You can't give her that much credit. You cannot give her that much credit and say, yo, there's some kind of truth to all that when she threw the word like it was nothing. This is Mean Girls. This at this point is now Mean Girls, like high school.
I don't disagree that it's Mean Girls, but I threw some pointers out there. But that's fine. You have your feelings, and I'm not mad at you. Mel, what would you like to say about this situation?
Okay, so I'm not going to mention her by name. I'm
Right.
going to use allegedly, but I'm going to say this. I think that Sutton kind of understands that some people you talk to, you do need a doctor's note to believe their story. That's what I'll say about that situation. But then also what I was going to say too, it was surprising to me that Lisa Rinna, of all people, when that word was thrown out, that she didn't laugh. Because I was looking at her and she just was frozen. And I was surprised that she didn't do what other girls do. So that was one thing. But also what I noticed about Kathy, and it's just my observation, I feel like when Kathy's no scene, she uses Garcelle as like a template, a person that she can sort of mimic in a way to see if I should laugh, if I should not. Because at first she sort of responded and smirked, but then when she saw that Garcelle was upset, she kind of made a different kind of face. So I'm noticing that she uses Garcelle as to sort of gauge what she should and should not do, which kind of makes me feel a little uncomfortable. I'm not sure if she's being authentic or not. So yeah. Yeah, I think, thank you. Yeah, sometimes people can tell you what they're going through, but you go, really? I might need a doctor's note. So I think there's some people, that's just my opinion. Again, allegedly and all that other stuff. So that's what I'm gonna say about that.
Okay. So let me, before I go to the board, let me just throw this out there. When they was on the boat, remember when they was on the boat and it was Sutton sitting there. I forgot who else was sitting next to Sutton, and then Diana came. And Diana was telling Garcelle, and Diana was telling the story about her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sutton was starting to speak about her situation. So let me just ask this, because even Kyle has said to Sutton, we never heard about your previous miscarriages. So are we going to say that only certain people have to justify what they went through?
Yes.
And then others, we just going to take their word for it? That's cool. That's how we doing it. Oh, we got it. Yes. Okay, I'll live with that. The boys in that.
Okay, Diva, you been eating. Diva, you been eating.
Can I answer that?
She eating from your table, good boy.
Yes, she is. She is. Diva basically saying. Diva basically saying what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Now, me personally, I thought that Diana Aiden, she told facts. She told facts. She didn't really call her the name. What happened was Sutton said, y'all didn't say nothing when she called me the word, and she said, well, you are. And everybody busted out laughing. You know what I'm saying? Sutton didn't have time to go and rehearse what she was going to say with Garcelle and see what was going on. But she looked to Garcelle for help. Oh, baby, as soon as the girl said it, Garcelle, she looked right up to Garcelle. She looked up to Robin Costner and say, you know what, I need help. And Garcelle didn't help her. All Garcelle did was whine. And it was like, did you just say that? See, you want to be the morality police, right? And say, Diana, you shouldn't say that. That's not nice. I can say what I want to say. Do you want me to say it behind her back? She waits till people are vulnerable and she hits them really, really low. And she has. She did it with Diana. She did it with Dorit. It's like you could not like Diana, but what she said was facts.
No, it
wasn't.
was
facts. Yeah, you know what?
She hit people when they low. She hit people when they down.
Good boy. They all do. I remember that Garcelle went on Candy speak on it and said, and as she was entering Beverly Hills, she doesn't want to be seen as a bitter black woman, so she's handling it in a different way.
But see, you know what? Let me just say this. Right, but
but you know, she doesn't want to be seen as the angry black woman, so she's trying to.
Well, don't get on the show though. Don't get on the show.
But Daniel, let me say this.
It's a job,
she doesn't want to be seen as that way. But when you're in talking to Cherie and you say if somebody's on fire, you wouldn't throw no water on them, not even spit on them. What's the difference?
Said that. That's Cherie said that.
Oh, there is
Cherie asked her, hold on, guys. Hold on 1 second. No, Cherie asked her. She said, now you got to at least spit on her, girl. So Garcelle said that out of her own mouth. I wouldn't even throw any water on her. Right. So what I'm saying to y'all is that why is it okay for one person to be gangster and the other person not gangster? Like they're justified in their stuff, but everybody else is non-justified in their stuff. It is dead wrong. Before I continue on, Juanita, you're in the building. You have the floor.
Okay, what I want to say is, first of all, Sutton is a little loose at the mouth. And sometimes I don't think she be realizing it until after somebody bring it to her attention. So I think maybe she should have been a little sympathetic toward Diana with her coming there. But now, don't get me wrong, Diana is a beast too. You know, Diana, she's done her dirt too. But as far as Erika calling her that name, it's awful. It was uncalled for. And then for Diana to pop off and say, well, she is. I mean, you know, that was uncalled for. And what I didn't like was everybody looked shocked, but nobody didn't stand up and say anything.
Right.
Somebody should have said something, you know, to the fact that that's not why you say, well, I think Garcelle did say something. But I just didn't like that part.
And Diva, that's the part right there that I was saying that the other girls, if Sutton would have said something crazy, as allegedly she said against the other lady about her issues with her medical issues or whatever, then we had Kyle right there just writing, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Anytime any of those ladies, Garcelle, Sutton, or Crystal, even about her own issues, they are right there to sort of push them and judge them. But when it's the other way, and somebody, now mind you, none of the ladies said that Sutton was that. She said, I was called this, and then the girl said, maybe you are. So, it's semantics. It's sort of this kind of funny thing. But she was crying there. She was crying because not only was she called on a reunion, but it was reiterated at this sort of little, group up thing that happened. And nobody really was defending her. Now, mind, she's a grown woman, right, and she should be able to stand up. And trust me, if anybody else, they would have went the hell off in that little place.
That's right.
But the simple fact is, that's what I was saying. It goes. So when you say, well, we should be, fair. We should be fair across the board. Or some people have said, that's what I'm saying to you as a viewer. I'm like, they're not fair. So I enjoy when the moments when they get caught out there. I enjoy.
Can I say something, Diva?
Yeah,
of course you can.
Come on, Mr.
Okay, because we never seen Garcelle call Sutton out for her stuff either. We never seen that. You know what I'm saying? They say stuff to each other. They never called them stuff out either. And Sutton was crying, but y'all didn't say the same thing when Diana was crying. See, when Sutton got real aggressive with Diana and put her finger in her face and said, "You're gonna let me finish. I'm gonna finish it. You're gonna let me finish." Because nobody cared about Diana Tills.
Okay, well, can I go after
nobody cared about Diana Tills when Diana was crying. All of a sudden,
everyone did.
Yes, they did. Kyle did.
She was putting on that. It wasn't the same thing as y'all doing with Sutton.
Yes,
well, can I?
Okay, so hold on.
At least Sutton did apologize.
Hold on one second, guys. Who's that's trying to speak?
Me and Kai.
Okay, Kai, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna let you speak. Now, Fifi, I left this up there because I'm gonna read it. Each review spending so much time on Garcelle is a bit much. No wonder she is a fan favorite, and you gotta love her with all of this hate. So, Fifi, a lot of people feel the same way as you, right? Like there's all this hate against Garcelle. I trust me when I tell you, I'm happy Garcelle's on the platform. I'm not hating on Garcelle, but what I am doing is I'm calling out the fact that Garcelle is on both sides of the fence, right? She wants to throw rocks, but then when a rock gets thrown back at her, she wants to call foul play. No, if we said the game is throwing rocks, then I get to pick up some rocks and you got to pick up some rocks too, and we're gonna do what we do. But don't get mad at me when I toss my rock and you ready just toss two at me. So my thing is, we gotta give me a minute. We gotta call a thing and let the thing be a thing, because Garcelle gets greasy. We gotta pull the footage, guys. What she said about Erika and not throwing water on her, she was on fire. That is greasy. But there's other things where she has gotten greasy in the confessional, and we're ignoring it as if she's an angel. But that's okay though. I'm not mad at y'all, and I'm not mad at Garcelle either. But hold on one second, Nina. I gotta let Kai speak. Go ahead, Kai. You're in the building.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hi.
Me and Gore were talking about this. For me personally, I don't see Garcelle as an angel. I see her doing what housewives do. For me personally, when it comes to the whole, like someone said, like Sutton hits people at their lowest points, and then someone brought up Dirty Diana, and I'm confused because if I remember correctly, Dirty Diana sent out that text and all of her friends and their confessionals were laughing about it because they all knew she was doing it to be petty. And even Lisa Rinna said, "Oh my God, I effing love her. She's so petty." And then she came into the event and Kyle ran up to her laughing about the plane situation and then started talking about the text. And then her and Kyle also laughed about the text message. So you don't get to come to me afterwards when you were laughing with all your girlfriends talking about this text message, because obviously it was petty, but now all of a sudden it was a cry for help. That part confuses me. I get lost and confused when you were laughing about it and all of your friends were laughing about it, which means no one took it seriously. Everyone knew your intention. So that part to me, like, what? Because no one knew anything about this until you sent a text message before you were supposed to go to this event, and then you show up to the event. I would have questions too if I knew you were saying that to be dirty to my friend. For me, one. Second, I try to figure out this balance because if I remember correctly, Sutton called when they were going back and forth. You can say Sutton ate her up or Diana ate her up, but I do know that Vile was sitting there, and when Sutton was trying to leave and end it, and called Diana soulless, Miss Vile went and grabbed up Sutton saying, oh my God, you can't say that. So I do get confused then when everyone else can say whatever they want. Right. If everyone, like, it would be different if like we can all speak and every once in a while your friend speaks up for you, but I can't get it. I'm going back and forth with a person, you come into my conversation, and then all of a sudden I say something and you grab me and tell me I'm not allowed to say that. And she did the same thing to Garcelle when Garcelle said, you have a chip on your shoulder, it has nothing to do with me. Val turned to Garcelle and said, no, she doesn't, you can't say that. You don't even know this woman. So what are you talking about? So it does get confusing then when we arrive to Aspen and we are talking back and forth and Violet's trying to girls produce, everyone does it, whatever. My only issue is that it's a little too obvious for my taste, but that's a taste situation. You want to know why I unfollowed Erika? Okay, we explain it. And because Garcelle is like, I'm not going to be friends with her, I'm done with it. She switches to Sutton to be like, well, you said it was a joke. Yeah, it was a joke between me and my friend. What of it? And then since it's not going anywhere because you can't really, it's a joke and it's stupid. And because Kathy calls her out and says, who cares? Violet starts raising up her voice and yelling and screaming and walking away and then comes back and was like, no, what's the real reason? And for me, Sutton was like, she called me the C word and y'all didn't care. So why do y'all care that I unfollowed her on Instagram, whether it was a joke or not? To me, it wasn't about, hey, stand up for me. To me, it was like, why do you care? If you didn't care about this, like, I don't really know why you care, because Violet is the main one who was running around screaming every time Kim, her sister, was going off on those people when they were being ragged to her. She was the one running out of the Amsterdam restaurant, right? Every time Brandy used the C word and was talking real greasy, Violet was the first person saying, we don't talk like that, calling Brandy trashy. Now they're best friends. So yes, it is weird that you care, because me and my friend have an inside joke about unfollowing this woman who did something wrong to her child and who has been acting crazy, and yet y'all couldn't say anything then. So that to me was just a call out and not necessarily like stand up for me. It's just like, you shouldn't care. And then for Dirty Diana, it tells me that someone did coach her when she came onto the show, because we're also not going to pretend like she didn't come on the show and already had opinions about Sutton. Ari came on saying she was classy and tasteless because Lisa Rinna, her friend, said you didn't pay for that table, even though Lisa Rinna knew she was sitting at that table with her, and Lisa Rinna knows she's never paid to be at that table. And then we follow up with her saying, you're really clumsy with your words. They had not even had a conversation yet. So how do you know this? And I can get with the Dorit situation. The Dorit situation, I feel like she came, Kyle was moping, making it about herself, bringing up her own situation. And then she's like, well, what's going on with you? She says what happens. And then Kyle was like, that's not a big deal. And then she says that I thought it was wrong as well. But Kyle is the one who brought that to Dorit's attention. It wasn't Sutton just walking up to Dorit and saying that. And then Kyle wanted to make that a bigger issue, to make that a fight between Sutton and Dorit. And Sutton was like, I know I'm wrong. And Garcelle already said she was wrong for that, which is why she never spoke up for Sutton during that situation, because she knew Sutton was wrong. She said Sutton was wrong when Erika brought it up. So let's not act confusion like Garcelle is just okaying everything that Sutton is saying. So we are at Aspen, and Miss Dirty Diana, who's not been there for any of these other conflicts that she keeps speaking about, like in the deleted scene when she's trying to go after Kathy for saying y'all are crazy. Well, Kathy, the way that Erika screamed at Sutton last year is the same way she screamed at me. You were at this dinner last year, so what are you talking about? And also, you interrupted that conversation because she was not speaking to you. You opened your mouth to interrupt, so you got what you got. But this time, again, the see you next Tuesday, you were nowhere near this. Now all of a sudden, you are like, that's semantics. You are calling it that. It's called semantics, whatever, do you. But then when she saw that Garcelle was not laughing at it, that's when she turned around and was like, oh, you hit me at my lowest point. I was on the bathroom bleeding. If you were on the bathroom bleeding, how did you get up and get dressed and come to this party? Because the story keeps growing.
Take them down through every show.
The story keeps growing. She's on the bathroom now, bleeding out on her deathbed. How did you come to this party drinking and dancing then? Because now the story keeps growing.
You should have been at the doctor's office. You should have been at the hospital.
No, it's no issue. But my thing is, you can't be like, you came at my lowest point, but then you still showed up to a party.
All right. Come on now.
A complete itch.
So my point is, she don't have to tell them.
Yes,
she
you
don't
can.
have to tell none of them. She don't have to tell none of them that she had 2 miscarriages. It's certain things you ain't got to tell nobody. You don't have to bring everything to the show for people to try to eat you up with. She did what she was supposed to do. She didn't have to tell them. But what she was doing was trying to let Diana know that she identified with her. And I agree with this last person. She done ate everybody up on that stage except for me and Sebastian. All y'all
and me too. And me too. And me
I love Garcelle.
What happened was y'all forget. What happens is y'all forget and get emotional about it. I know that I said and Diva did call out Kyle when Sutton was saying what she was saying to Diana, and she tried to get up and leave and was hitting her and telling her not to stop and stuff. So what happens is y'all try to make it seem like that nobody is calling other people out, that it's just on Garcelle and Sutton. And people did call them out. People did call them out when they was talking about it. And people did call them out on those episodes.
So I thought we were revising history now at this point.
So it is confusing. You should have been in the hospital if you had all that trouble.
Guys. Hold on 1 second, guys. So, Kai, yes, you got a lot of subscribers that love what you're saying, and they're in 100% agreement with you. But listen, here's what we want y'all to do. Honestly, we want y'all to go to On Demand or however you watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We want y'all to tune in to the very first episode up until this point right now. So I want y'all to understand, I don't have no problem with Garcelle. But the thing is, I'm just saying that with the way you move is what you're going to get, right? So she's moving a certain way. She even said herself that once Erika sees what she said on the real, it's going to be a problem, right? So what I'm saying is that a lot of things that she says not to them and not in front of them, it causes problems in the group. So here's the thing that I'm going to give Diana again at this situation. It has nothing to do whether I love Diana or hate Diana. I'll give this to her. She straight told Garcelle, I'm saying it to this girl's face. Would you rather I say it behind her back? Because that's what the group, let me just finish. That's what the group normally does. And that causes even bigger problems. So, what's the name? Sutton was there. Sutton didn't have to hear this second, third hand. Diana laughed, right, wrong, or indifferent. She laughed about it. She said, yes, that's what you are, Sutton. And then she told her why she felt that way. And she said it in her face. Now, Garcelle, let me just finish one more thing. Now, Garcelle tried to speak up for Sutton a little bit because part of it, she asked Sutton, well, did you mean it that way? Sutton didn't say a word. Sutton didn't use her words. She said nothing. Okay?
Because she was called a name that was vile.
Let her finish, though.
Yeah, you can be, but if right now I were to call you a vile name, you just going to be mute? No, you're going to talk for me. You're going to say something to me. Huh? What happened?
I was embarrassed on TV, so yeah, of course.
But she was embarrassed at the hold on 1 second. She was embarrassed at the reunion when it was first said. If you were so embarrassed and this is beneath you, you don't come back on this reality show where you know these girls are vicious. They're pit bulls. They come for you. Okay.
Well,
and if you did, let me just throw this in there. Let me throw this in there, then y'all can come. If you did your due diligence, you would also know with this group of particular ladies, they target a person and they ride the bus over them over and over again until they just leave. Okay, we got examples, right? Denise Richards, Lisa Vanderpump. I mean, there's many people that they slayed down before them. So if you're going to come on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you better pack your bags and be ready to stand up for yourself, fight for yourself, and get in the face with these ladies because this is what they do. But go ahead. Who wanted to speak?
And that's why you don't leave.
Go ahead, Nina.
Oh, okay.
Well, my bags is packed, damn it. My bags is packed. I'm ready, and I'm ready, and I'm gonna go ahead and go over there and see if I can't get chosen to be on there. I'm gonna see.
Right.
I'm gonna see if vicious is what you want. If vicious is what you gonna get. Because evidently, I'm gonna have to school Garcelle and Sutton a little bit harder. They're not that hard, but y'all want to pinpoint certain things about you got Sutton, you got Kyle, You got Rinna. Oh Lord, bless her heart. You got Dirty Diana. Listen, these girls have come up against Garcelle and Sutton since last season, and Cal is the culprit. And all y'all ought to know that Cal is the culprit. She starts stuff when it shouldn't be. Now, if Garcelle and Cherie gonna talk on their phone in private, I wouldn't give her no water either. I'm with you 100%, and I don't even know the chick like that. And I wouldn't spit on her either. I agree with both of them, but they said that in a private of their own conversation. These girls get together and they say, "Oh, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna do it. This is what we're gonna say it, and we're gonna all come up against her." That's not right either, and I don't, it's just not right. I don't like it.
And Nina, Kyle is also, and this is what about Sutton that just makes me not like her, but not really respect her as much, because Kyle was the culprit of the Erika and Sutton situation, because Kyle tried to sit down there that morning and act like she didn't read that paper and basically got upset with Sutton and was like, what did it say? What did it say? So they could run it back to Erika. They did it. She tried to act like she had nothing to do with it and say it was all Sutton. It was all Sutton. You know what I'm saying? And they ran it back to Sutton, knowing good and well they read that newspaper from front to back.
That's right. That's right.
So for me, can I say something to Ms. Steve?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I agree with you. I was going to say this. I was going to say, so you said, and I love this conversation. I think that Sutton should come back, and she should stay the same. She don't have to change to be like they are. Like, if you are totally thrown off and somebody call you to see you next Tuesday, then that's who you are. You don't have to be a person who's saying it. And I also want to say this too. With Garcelle, she was the person who was sitting at a table while a lot of the ladies were, last year people were saying that she was dealing with microaggression. She was at a table where a grown woman told her to be quiet. Dorit was yelling at her against the table, and she was doing all that kind of crap at that table and at the reunion. Now this year, she's been sort of labeled as being messy and being sneaky and all this kind of stuff. You know what? I like where she's at right now. I like that she's not sitting at anybody's table being yelled at across the room, that she's telling people, I don't want to be friends with you. I'm unfollowing you. This is what's happening. You talk to my son Greasy or whatever, and now I'm going around to the girls and I'm talking to you. I like that. I wish that the other girls, the three, because mind you, they're in the minority. It's the three girls together, that they all would be messy and quote unquote messy with the other girls, because they've been doing it for all the years they've been there. So now they're just catching up a little bit, and because at the end of the day, it's two teams going on here. Nobody plays fair on either side. I feel like Garcelle, Crystal, and Sutton play a little fairer than Erika and the other ones, and I feel like they've been doing it. They've been running roughshod over, like you said. They've ran other people out this series. So now
Garcelle kicked Crystal off the team.
Let me throw this in here real quick though.
Yeah,
the formula for reality TV on this Housewives, right? They're always team, right? It's always teams. I don't care if you look at RHOBH. I don't care if you look at the Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't care if you look at the Real Housewives of New Jersey. There's always teams. These people are split in half. Sometimes the half is unfair. Sometimes it's more on one side than the other. We got to agree to that, right?
Alliances.
So my thing is, when you come on this show, you know you're going to have to pick a side. But see, you can't be a Crystal where today you on this side, tomorrow you on that side, because then they're really going to trample over you. Yeah, so you got to know the formula of reality TV and know the formula of the show that you agreed to be on. And if you don't know the formula, you are going to drown. So all I'm saying is that Garcelle knew from last season what was going down. And that's why she thought she was bringing somebody with her. She thought that Cherie was going to be team Garcelle and Sutton. Cherie is team nobody, okay? She really wants to be in on the other side. Yeah. And all I'm saying is you can't act oblivious to the situation. And Garcelle had a chance to go through the rodeo. So you got to pick up tips while you at the rodeo. You know how these girls get down. So if you want to play in the sandbox with them, then you got to pick up some rules or make your own rules and get down with the get down. That's all I'm saying. But what you can't do is when stuff starts not going your way, you can't cry all of this, that, and the other. And you want to talk about Greasy? When what's her name? Kenya, she mocked Sonya at that dinner table and told her to shut up.
Didn't she?
Listen to me. Don't speak. Hear what I got to say. So all I'm saying is no different than what's happening on this show. But I feel like, and I hate to throw this out there, I feel like we're making a difference in it because they don't all look the same. The same stuff happens on every single show.
Wait,
and what you got to do,
same,
hold on, let me
Diva.
finish. Hold on, let me finish. So what you got to do is when you on there, stand up, buck up, and know your place and tell these people dot. That's
Right,
all I'm saying.
but
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Gabor.
Oh,
okay. So the thing is, I feel like a lot of the times people always say, "Oh, Gabor, y'all just don't like Garcelle because she's not this person or that. She's not acting like this. She's not acting like that." But I find it funny that everybody else is always saying that she needs training, she needs this, and she's like that. But I thought that y'all was saying that we was the one that was saying that. I never said that Garcelle had to act a particular way. But the thing on the show, for me, I forgot what I was about to say. But I don't think that it wasn't about Garcelle, but I don't think that Garcelle needs to change the way that she. Oh, it was about Cherie. I think that Cherie should be able to come on the show and just be authentically her, just like Garcelle should have been able to come on the show and be authentically her. How is she not being her just because how is she?
Her intent was to come on there to be Garcelle's friend. So God, just now hear what I'm getting ready to say. Just like Diana was schooled before she came, Garcelle had schooled Sheree. So Sheree had already knew, okay, well, I want to see what these other girls are about because I already know. Sheree was watching the show. She already know what them girls had did to Garcelle. Sheree wants a diamond. Whatever you call it. Whatever they got, what they got. She wants that, and she's going to get it. Sheree, neither one of them need to be on reality TV. What she needs to do is go ahead and say, Garcelle, I apologize because I'm supposed to be in alliance with you, not with them heifers. But she fell into the pond with those other girls, and she saw. See, Sheree, you ain't married to Will no more, honey. You weren't married to him but a year. Y'all had that baby, and then he let you go, and he went to Jada. You still mad at Garcelle because Garcelle was with Will and didn't tell you.
So,
see, that's what that child know.
I think that Cherie.
Wait, hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. AT2, thank you so much. Bring Cynthia to Roa. Saying Roa. So the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills replaced Cherie since she want to be with the other side. I'm trying to tell you, bye, girl. Bye. Velvet, thank you for the super stick. I truly appreciate it. Go ahead, Nina. Then I'm going to let someone else speak. Go ahead.
Is Cherie, every chance, like she said, I don't know if y'all caught it last night, when they was talking and she said, oh, we got
the W
somebody in common. Yeah, the W. See, you still mad at her because she was with Will. You can't get over the fact who you need to be mad at is Jada Pinkett Smith because she the one who won. That's who won. Don't be mad at Garcelle.
Yeah. Garcelle been bringing up Will ever since last season all the time, and she bring it up one time, and all of a sudden she jealous and can't get over it. I think that what happens is we always say keep it real, and when somebody keep it real, it's like it's a lose-lose situation because if a person does not say what you want them to say, then they lost. She doesn't feel like that the women are treating Garcelle any different. She feels like that Sutton is that Garcelle is trying to be Sutton's friend, and Sutton has an issue with everybody, and Garcelle is trying to be this quote unquote ride or die friend to her, and that is causing the issues with Garcelle and everybody else.
Can I speak after Gabor?
I'm done.
Yes, give me 1 second. Yes, Kai, give me 1 second. Juanita, thank you so much. Sheree was supposed to be Garcelle's backup, but she's more of a back down. I'm trying to tell you, Juanita.
But she did back her up when Garcelle when they went over the game plan. Cheers to setting the bees straight, and Garcelle went at Erika, and Kyle jumped in. She said, "Wait! You stop." She's talking to her. She's not talking to you. You know what I'm saying? When it was Garcelle's fight, but the thing is, when it's Garcelle's fight, she's there for Garcelle, but she's not jumping in for Sutton. I got you, and if you want to jump in for her, you can. But when it's for you, I got you. But I'm not jumping in for Sutton. Sutton got to mess you out.
But Gabor, it was supposed to be Cherie, Sutton, and Garcelle.
That's right.
Obviously, Cherie didn't read the whole plan. Okay, she only read the part where she said, once she read all supposed to be Garcelle friend, she put the paperwork down and thought she had it under lock. No, she messed up. She messed up. It was supposed to be the three amigos, the three musketeers.
But
it's supposed to be all three of them. And she is an epic fail.
It was four. It was four though. It was supposed to be Garcelle, Sutton, Crystal, and her. Don't get that Garden. Garcelle threw away Crystal paperwork. Garcelle threw away Crystal paperwork. I think that she spent that night in La Quinta.
Okay.
And she called give me a minute. Let me give Kaya opportunity. Kai, what do you want to say?
Okay. I am kind of getting over this whole we can't be friends with Garcelle because of Sutton, because even the deleted scene that I don't know why I feel like Bravo is deleting scenes that should not be deleted. At the disco party, Erika's like, yeah, because we can't be friends with you, da-da-da. And then Garcelle told Erika, me and you were fine until that dinner at Kathy's, where I saw, and even then people were upset because Garcelle was going over there comforting her. I'm confused while we are rewriting history, like people weren't telling Garcelle she wasn't standing up for Sutton enough to the point where that was a question at the reunion. So I am confused now that these women come on this season and now all of a sudden you can't be friends with Garcelle because of Sutton. Because Garcelle had her own issue with Kyle that had nothing to do with Sutton. And you can feel your way about if she was right or wrong. Garcelle had her own issue with Dorit. Had nothing to do with Sutton. Dorit was saying she was throwing jabs and da-da-da-da, you're a bully. That had nothing to do with Sutton. And then Erika, again, even Garcelle said, me and Erika, other than Sutton, she was the one that was the most open. And it wasn't until she saw her lose her crap that she was like, I'm good. So it's confusing to me now that all of a sudden Cherie's coming on the show saying, well, I said that Sutton could be a hindrance to your friendship with the other women. When the fact of the matter is she already had relationships with the other women prior to Sutton, and quite a few of those are different, not because of Sutton. So it feels like it is a weird argument that they pulled up to justify what they're going to do, whatever they're going to do. I don't know if it's like, this is a new way to get out of Garcelle, because for me, it's like the whole Sutton issue is stemming in Garcelle, because they're saying we have an issue with Sutton, and that makes it that we have an issue with you, Garcelle. And then Garcelle
they just not to cut you off, they just want one of them off. So let me ask you this, Kai. Does Cherie stay or does she gotta go?
To me, I think I personally do think she came on the show for Garcelle and Sutton, because at Garcelle's birthday party, she was even chilling with Sutton because her and Sutton have hung out prior to filming.
Kai, does she stay or does she go?
Does she stay? I feel like I could give her another season as friend of. She does not need a dime. If she's going to do her foolishness, let her do her foolishness and I can talk about it. But
what foolishness? I mean, if we would have pulled all the episodes so far and add up the minutes, Cherie spoke about a total of 15 minutes out of all of the episodes combined together. She's not giving us nothing. She's giving us 15 minutes. We see her come, we see her go, and that's it. But listen, guys, I'm gonna go around because we got to wrap this up. I'm gonna come to everybody. Tell me your final words. And does Cherie go or does she stay? I'm gonna go to you, Mel, first.
Oh, okay. Well, Cherie can go. You know, I mean, I had high hopes for her, but she failed me, so she can go. And you know what I'm going to say? My final thoughts. This episode was a lot. This week, this whole experience of watching the show and everything, it's been crazy. But yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking Messy Garcelle. I'm hoping other girls take the lead. The show is messy. This show is. Oh, I'm sorry. And you know what? That's what I feel. I'm sorry. I got distracted when I heard all the noise.
Okay, yeah. No problem.
All right.
But thank you, Mel. So we got one for Cherie. Goodbye. Okay. Yes, Kai. Let me get your final words.
My final thoughts.
Yes.
I'm okay with Sutton holding the tears and finally crying. I don't really care about that. To me, I am fine with going toe to toe, getting dirty, but for me personally, it has to be grounded in reality or completely and utterly petty. And so for me, I think Diana messed up when when Sutton apologized the third time at Kyle's charity lunch, and Diana went out of her mouth saying, "No, we're gonna stop here. It's enough. It's done." And then Sutton said, "I'm always here. If you do want to talk one-on-one, I'm open to it." And then they haven't talked to each other, and now all of a sudden you want to start talking again. So to me, then it seems like you're not doing anything. You have to make a point. Like you have to put yourself in it. And I also, my tin hat is tingling with it. I don't put anything past a Hilton. But now that we see now that I've seen more of the preview for how Erika's going to act when Crystal brings up the earrings, I'm trying to figure out if Rinna, Erika, and Dorit Diana, because those are the only ones saying that Kathy said something, and they are the ones saying that Kathy said something because they realize how terribly Erika may look on the next episode.
All right, thank you. Nina, your final words.
Oh Lord. I say, I'm gonna go as far as to say 2 of them need to go for real. Really 3, but I'm gonna say 2. Yes, Sheree, we don't want you to come back. You're a friend of the show. You can stay far, far away. We'll feed you with a long-handled spoon. We don't want you. I'm like the other person. I was solely disappointed in you and how you did. And Dirty Diane and Rinna, y'all can go. Y'all can take them lips on. One licking them and one big. Y'all can take them lips on and pump them up somewhere. And the show was an epic fail. The show was an epic fail last night, only because I really think, and this is just me, no matter how you feel about a person, whether you friend on the show or not, you should never call somebody that word, and somebody should have came to her defense. I think that was a harsh word to call Sutton. I did not like it. It's 2 thumbs down for me. I ain't got for 2. I guess I'd go 10 toes too. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
You know what? And you know what, Nina? Garcelle did try. We got to give it to Garcelle. Garcelle tried. She tried. She tried to say something. So we'll give her that. And yes, you know what? Nicole Murphy would be a good addition to this show because Nicole Murphy would give them the business and extra rate. I do like that idea, just simply. Daniel, your final words?
I think Sheree could stay because we got 8 other girls that we need camera time for, and she's trying to squeeze in. There's not enough time for her. So let's see what else she got. Like she's just trying to. I think she's just trying to like get in where she can right now. She should be on Garcelle's alliance right now, but she's like the wind going one way and the other. So, but just give her a chance. And like what Nina said, I don't like the word either. I would be mortified if someone called my best friend, who's a girl, that word. My mother, if I had a sister, I just don't like that word. Even if somebody called you that word, I would be upset. So let's just choose our words. Let's be classy and not nasty. That's where I'm at. But,
okay, yeah, classy and not nasty. All right. Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Gabor, is it safe? Can I come to you?
I got some things to think. I trying to think of what it was, though, but I don't think that Sheree needs to go. I think that actually Garcelle picked the wrong team to be on, because what won't go out of my mind is when they went to Big Bear. Was it Big Bear last year? Lisa Rinna trip. And when they were in the kitchen and Kyle was telling Crystal about the conversation, and Sutton was telling Kyle, well, you and I already talked about that. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what they talked about. I really want to know what Kyle and Sutton talked about. But, it doesn't matter because Garcelle threw Crystal under the bus and she's not a part of their little, you know what I'm saying? See, what happens on these shows is that the girls can't never stick together and go against the other girls. They can't stick together long enough. The same way with Monique and Candace, where they even got to fight each other because they couldn't stick together long enough to go against Giselle. But
gotta say Garcelle, don't you?
The thing is, though, I just want to know, Diva, what did Sutton call Diana at that party?
MF. Soulless.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Well, she told the truth.
She told the truth. I got to agree with that.
And if she told the truth, Diana told one. So told the truth. So
come on, Gabor. Really?
Yes, really. But that's it, y'all.
Yeah. So yeah. Daniel, you said something really interesting, right? You said we got to choose our words, and I agree with you. But the thing is, though, right? Here's the thing. She used that word that is apparently a trigger word for many, right? But there's been other words that is just as harsh and messy, and the people got away with it. That's all I'm saying. I just want you to marinate on that and sleep on that until we see the next Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I mean, if you think about it, we can pull the footage. If we could pull the footage, and maybe one day in the future, I'll pull some footage for y'all. But if we can pull the footage, a lot of people have said some nasty, dirty, non-classy words. But Canelo, what's your final words?
All I said, I'm sleepy because that woman got on my nerves. I cannot with that woman. I don't want to see her on my screen no more. Even though she may have told some facts, but the thing is, she should have never said it the way she did. Yes, she was, and this is what I want to say. Everybody says Sutton was in the room. She didn't say it to Sutton. She said it to Garcelle. She should have turned to Sutton and said it in her face instead of turning to Garcelle, talking to Garcelle, telling Garcelle what she should have been telling Sutton. Sutton was sitting right there by Erika. She could have turned her head and said, "This is for you, not your friend." All I gotta say.
Wait.
Yeah, okay, hold on 1 second. I'll let you speak, but 1 second. Yet I had to actually look it up to myself. I do know it's bad. I do know it's a trigger word. I do know many people hate it, but I had to go Google myself too. I'm not gonna lie to you. So Google it, and it will give you the definition. That's all I can say. Yes, who wanted to say something?
Yes, Daniel. Diva. So you said let's choose our word. Remember, you said it was interesting to you. So let's pull that footage. Who used that word and it's not on the show anymore?
Which word?
The word.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Brandy used it in the reunion, and he said, "What did you say? What did you call Kyle?" And she said it. She's not on the show anymore, right? Remember? They used nasty words, and now they're not on the show anymore. Brandy was on a timeout now at this point. So it's choose our words. Let's not try to degrade somebody. Let's try to uplift somebody, or just use your words to just fight fair. Don't fight dirty. That's it.
Dirty Diana can't help it.
That is what comes up when you go and look it up.
Look it up.
When you go and look it up, that is what comes up. All right, guys, listen. I had a great time with y'all. I had a great show with y'all. Some of y'all, I'll close out and say this. Some of y'all got to go back and do on demand and look at the footage and then come back for the next recap and just tell us, do you still feel the same way? That's what we're trying to say. We just want awareness. We just want awareness, okay? So what we're trying to say. But I love y'all. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you next time. Don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll see you for the next recap. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.